Frise. Thank you so much for calling into STEM Camp today. Everyone, go ahead.
It's a pleasure to meet with you and to talk to you about some of the interesting things in mechanical engineering.
Great. So, Dr. Peter Frise is a professor in the Department of Mechanical, Automotive, and Materials Engineering at the University of Windsor. So he's calling in from Windsor today. And as you know, I'm here in Ancaster, and that's our camp in London. So hello, everyone, and welcome. So today is Hydraulics Day, and the campers are going to be experimenting with some hydraulics kits and building different projects using hydraulics. And so we have a lot of questions about hydraulics, don't we? So maybe I'll turn it over to Dr. Frise. You can introduce yourself, tell us a bit more about what you do at the University of Windsor, and then maybe start off by introducing what is hydraulics to us.
Sure. Well, my name's Peter Frise, and I'm a mechanical engineer. And so in Canada, engineering is a very important profession because engineers solve problems for people using technology. So mechanical engineers help to design cars and trains and airplanes and ships and all kinds of machinery that you see around town doing construction. And one of the most important kinds of systems on those machines is the hydraulic system, which helps the machine to do its work, to dig a hole in the ground or to push things around or to lift things up. And so we're going to talk today about hydraulics and how that kind of system works.
Great. All right. So why don't we get started with some questions? Maybe I'll go to our camp in London for the first question. Is there a camper with a question for Frise there? Hi.
I can't hear your question. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Maybe turn the mic on. They might be on mute.
Yeah, I think you're on mute, guys, in London.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes?
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay. I was wondering, what kind of power is used to sort of fill the tubes up with water when you're making, like, hydraulics move?
Okay, that's a great question. One of the interesting things about hydraulics is that the fluid inside the system doesn't have to be water. Sometimes it's water, sometimes it's oil, like the oil in your mom and dad's car engine, and sometimes it's air. And so we call that the working fluid. Okay? So you asked what kind of power is used to fill up the tubes or fill up the pipes or the actuators with that fluid. Sometimes the power comes from an electric motor. Sometimes it driving a pump. Sometimes it comes from a diesel engine driving a pump. And sometimes it comes from something like a windmill or some other kind of device powered by the wind or by water pressure in a stream or something like that. And now what level of power is required? Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 horsepower, like a very small machine. Other times it's thousands and thousands of horsepower, like on a huge ship.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
So I know we have some questions in Ancaster as well. Who wants to ask the first question? Okay. Angelina, do you want to ask what are hydraulics? Say it loud into the mic.
What are hydraulics?
Could you
Okay.
Dr. Frise?
Hi, Angelina. What
Can
are
you hear that, Doc?
hydraulics? Yep, I got it. That's a great question, Angelina. Thank you. Okay, I brought along some parts today that I can show you. Can you folks see this in my hand?
Yeah.
Okay, that's called a cylinder, a hydraulic cylinder. Okay, so it has a part that can go in and out, in and out. Okay, now inside here is a piston which takes up the whole inside of the cylinder, and if you put oil or water pressure in this hole right here, it will push the cylinder out. And then if you put oil or water pressure in this hole, it will push it back in. Okay? So you put it in here, and the cylinder will go out. You put it in here, and the cylinder goes in. Now, have you ever been walking down the street and seen a big yellow construction machine digging a hole in the ground? You know those big power shovels? And they go down with a big scoop and they pick up dirt and they put it in a dump truck over here. And then they pick up some more and they put it over here again. That's hydraulics. The way that big shovel moves is hydraulics, and it's done just like this with a big cylinder that goes in and out. Okay? And the person driving the machine or operating the machine sits in their little cab with windows so they can see what's going on, and they move levers that either pump oil in this end or in this end and make the cylinder go out and in. And that's what makes the big shovel move and pick up the dirt. So that's hydraulics.
All right. Does that help? No. Good.
Okay. Did the folks in London understand that?
Yeah.
Good. No?
Okay. We're going to go to another question in London.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
I was wondering, what is the most advanced hydraulic system that you know of?
Well, let's see. The hydraulic system on an airplane is very advanced. The hydraulic system on an airplane makes the landing gear go up and down, makes the flaps go up and down on the wings to help the airplane climb or dive or turn. And that kind of system is very advanced. The space shuttle has a hydraulic system that helps it to fly when it comes back from space into the atmosphere. So those systems are very advanced. But as I said, bulldozers, power shovels, machines that make plastic parts, injection molding machines, those have hydraulic systems as well. Big dump trucks have hydraulic systems. But the most advanced one is probably for an aircraft. So have you ever flown on an airplane?
Yep. No. And my dream is to fly.
Oh, that would be great. So after the airplane, when the pilot is going down the runway, he's got the engines at full power. And have you ever seen a pilot fly a plane? When he's ready to take off, pulls back on the control wheel. That makes the elevator at the back of the airplane. It's the little tail at the back of the airplane. It makes the surface tilt up. That's what causes the airplane to climb up off the ground. And that action of making those little flaps go up, that's hydraulics. And then after the pilot has taken off, he pushes a control inside the cockpit, and the landing gear folds up inside the airplane to make the airplane nice and sleek so it can go fast without using too much fuel. and that is hydraulics that makes the landing gear fold up.
Cool. Good question. Thank you.
Very good.
So we have another question here in Ancaster. Who wants to ask? Do you want to ask? Do you want to ask where are hydraulics used? Okay. Come on over here. So Aurora's going to ask her question.
Okay.
Where are hydraulics used?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you very much. Hydraulics are used in all kinds of different places. Some elevators in buildings are hydraulic, and so down inside the ground is a big cylinder like this one, and when you get in the elevator and push, I want to go to floor number 3, they pump oil down at the bottom of the cylinder, and it pushes the elevator up until you get off safely at floor number 3. And then when you want to go down, they pump oil in this end of the cylinder, and it goes down. So elevators in buildings can be hydraulic, and as I said, the airplane, landing gear, and all the control surfaces on an airplane. One of the most obvious ones, the one you'll see the most is, do you know anywhere in your town where there's a construction project going on, where they're making a new building? Do you drive around with your mom and dad and see that kind of thing? Hello? Ancaster, you're frozen. Okay.
Oh no.
So,
Can you still hear us?
yeah, I can hear you. I think your image is frozen though.
Okay.
But if you see a big construction site, the big machines that are digging in the ground, those are all hydraulic powered.
All right. Did you want to ask about trucks? Okay, we have one more question related to that.
Sure.
Veronica, ask.
Which is my sister, right? Are hydraulics used in trucks?
Yes, they are. When you put your recycling and your garbage out to the street every week at your house or in your apartment building, you know the big truck that comes along to pick up the stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it's got hydraulics inside it to take the things that you put out in your garbage can and squish them so that they're smaller and take up less room. And that big noise that you hear when the truck goes by is the hydraulic cylinders pushing on the garbage to make it smaller. So hydraulics are used in trucks all the time. Have you ever seen a big dump truck full of dirt? And you know how the back end of the truck will tilt up and all the dirt will fall out the back? The thing that pushes the box of the truck up in the air, that is hydraulics. So hydraulics are used in trucks all the time. You know, another place that hydraulics are used where young little people might see them is in a bicycle tire. You know, when you pump the air into your bicycle tire using a bike pump, that's how hydraulics work. You're using the energy of your arm muscles to pressurize the air and push it into the bicycle tire. So that's hydraulics.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
I know.
Here's another one. Have you ever seen? Have you ever had a needle at the doctor's?
Yes.
I think everybody has. Yeah, I don't like needles. I sometimes faint when I get a needle. I don't like them. But you know when the doctor or the nurse comes up and puts the needle to your arm and pushes down on that plunger with their thumb, that's hydraulics. That's hydraulics. That's pushing the medicine into your arm with hydraulics.
Cool. So hydraulics
and if you,
for a lot.
Oh yeah, they sure are. And so when you see a needle in a doctor's office, that's exactly the kind of system that you have in this cylinder here. It's exactly the same kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Dr. Frise. Let's go for another question in London.
Okay. Hi, London.
Is there any hydraulic in outer space?
Yes, there are. You've seen the space shuttle, the big white kind of airplane that flies in space, and the astronauts go up and launch satellites and so on. Well, all the things that move on the space shuttle are powered by hydraulics. Like when they open the big doors in the top of the space shuttle, or when the space shuttle is coming back to Earth to bring the astronauts home, the landing gear folds out, and the aircraft can control itself as it's coming into land. That's hydraulics. Did you ever see a picture of the Apollo landing on the moon that took place, a long time ago when your mom and dad were little kids? Yeah. Well, the landing gear on the Apollo spacecraft that landed on the moon, that was made with hydraulics.
Okay, thanks. So we're running out of time for our call. Is there another question in London that we can go to? Oh, I think so. I see some hands up.
Are most hydraulics used up in the air or on the ground?
You know, that's a good question, but it's a hard one to answer because hydraulics are used in almost all machinery that moves. So aircraft use it, spacecraft use it, trucks and cars use it. The power steering in your mom and dad's car is hydraulics. And so even the air conditioner in your car has a hydraulic machine in it. So hydraulics are used on the ground and in the air and in outer space, underwater, in submarines, and so on, all over the place.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very cool. That's awesome. All right, so unfortunately, that's all the time we have for our call with Dr. Frise today. Thank you so much, Dr. Frise, for
You're
taking
welcome.
the time to call into our STEM camps. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm happy to talk to you. Bye,